So this is a quick little video on how to ship goods and stuff overseas, how to ship comic books overseas, how to ship anything overseas. This could really apply to any kind of product you're going to ship overseas. Of course, you're going to pack it in a sturdy box, just like you would domestically. I always put tape on 4 lines this way, 4 lines this way, and then around the edges, so there's tape on all 3 corners. So each corner is strengthened by the tape. So that's a lot of tape for a big box, but you know, this isn't necessarily an expensive item, and this isn't even a comic book, but it is a client of mine overseas that bought a big comic book, and now they're using our relationship, because we have a good relationship, to have me source some items that they can only get in the States, and then they send me the money for the items, and I do the shipping. And one of the keys is when you're doing shipping, I use Easy Ship. Easy Ship is great for a lot of countries. FedEx, if you want to use UPS, you can use Pirate Ship. Easy Ship has really gotten me some pretty low rates. Typically, when you print off a label, it will print off the shipping label, and there's 3 invoices in here. And so customs always needs the invoice. So if you make a mistake like I did my very first shipment, they're going to cut open the box. They're going to look for an invoice inside that might damage the boxes. So always make sure you got the shipping label. Obviously, this is FedEx. And then make sure you get the address correct. Double, triple check. You know, I saw this address and I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know what's the address, what's the street name, what's the city, zip code, country code. I didn't know any of that. So you really clarify on the addresses, because for some countries there's different fields. So anyways, when you print this off, it used to be when you print this off for like UPS, you might get the shipping label and the 3 invoices all at the same time. On Easy Ship, if you hit print documents, it's only been printing the shipping label, and if you didn't go search for the invoices, then you might get, again, an issue with customs. So they can get in here, and this is just a cheap little fix. It's not the cheap little bags that could rip easy. And I just tape this side, and then customs can get in here, both going out of the country. There's probably 1 invoice. Coming into the country, there's probably another. They can reach in there, they can pull under, and they can get their invoice. And they usually I haven't had any issues with shipping overseas. You can print this in a PDF to your computer. You can email the PDF to your client or recipient. And then if they need to submit an invoice to customs, they will have a PDF that they can do it. Now, their invoice to customs might be different than your invoice on PayPal Goods and Services. Their invoice will actually be in the currency of their country. And so these software sites will automatically, like this is Malta, I don't even know what kind of currency they use, but they do the exchange. You put in US dollars how much the items are worth, and there you have issues with tariffs, import, customs duties. On these labels, you can pick whether you're going to pay the import and customs duties or whether the recipient is going to pay import and customs duties. Typically, I think most people set it up so that the recipient pays import and customs duties. And with this day and age of tariffs being up in the air, there's been a lot of confusion about that. I have not seen anybody pay for a tariff, but that just could be because I haven't shipped to every country in the world. So you put it on there. With FedEx in our small town, I got to go to their warehouse and drop it off. This is going to be express or airmail, and I have to get it to my little shipping department prior to like noon, and then it's mostly ground, so they hold on to it until the express people come and pick up, you know, air and international stuff. So you might have those problems with dropping off. You don't want to leave it on a box somewhere that someone could steal. And so I deliver this to FedEx. Sometimes if they come to my house to deliver a comic, I'll hand them this. But again, if you're handing them an express, ground is different than you're trusting the ground people to get to the express people, and it won't get lost. Insurance is really tricky overseas. It's tricky enough in the States. You know, pirate ship, you can add on the shipping if you have a commercial invoice. Well, a lot of times I don't have a commercial invoice because someone wants to buy a book from me and they want me to ship it to CGC. And pirate ship says you cannot insure a book shipped to CGC. You can only insure a book if it's shipped to the recipient and there is an invoice. But the problem with a lot of these books overseas, if you want to send this to someone in another country and you say it's a $100 book, then they pay customs on a $100 book where it might be a different value. And so then insurance becomes an issue because insurance that you buy with the label is only going to be for the value on here. So what I had to do is use Collect Insure that ships all my packages outgoing and incoming. So when I ship overseas, everything is insured up to 20 grand. It's a good amount. It's like a little over 2,000 a year, but I was shipping a $18,000 book, and the peace of mind that came with getting that annual membership and having all shipments. I never have to buy insurance anymore. And the peace of mind of not just outgoing, but all my incoming books from auctions are now covered. So if I ever run into an issue with some of these auction houses, they can't say, oh, go pound sand, because it's covered. So I sleep better at night, and my sales have started to require a $2,000 annual expense on insurance. So shipping overseas, you're probably going to put in an amount that may not be exactly equal, because the value that the book is when you send it might be different than the value of the book when it's received. And then a lot of people could disagree on the value of the book, right? So you may not put in the exact same value of the book that someone else might say, hey, that book's worth less, that book's worth more. So if you want it insured, then rather than putting the value in the invoice, which is behind this, you can't see it, there's 3 of them right behind this label in this package, then with Collect Insure, you can ship a $20,000 book and have it totally covered, and customs might be a different dollar amount. Oh, but anyways, once you get used to the process and develop your software, like Easy Ship took me a while to find FedEx. Some countries, UPS is a lot different. Some countries, I will ship USPS, regular post. Regular post to Australia is probably fine. South Africa has to have UPS or FedEx because people will steal the regular mail. So you work with your client in the other country and say, hey, what's the safe way to ship? I tried shipping some stuff overseas and was not able to get a signature upon receipt. So make sure that's an option in your software, that you can get a signature upon receipt. My insurance won't work unless I do signature upon receipt, so it is critical. Anyway, shipping overseas is not that difficult. A lot of people overseas can pay me cash because they either have bank accounts in the US or they have friends with bank accounts in the US. So I have a lot of people either financing from me and it has to be cash, or trading, or they wanted a lower rate, so they paid cash instead of PayPal goods and services. Not everybody has access to that, but if someone is able to pay cash, and I do have a lot of clients all over the country that can pay cash all over the world, and others in the same country that can't. So it's just a matter of who has access to a US bank account so they can connect with PayPal goods and services, or they have a family friend in the States that has a bank account so they can do Zelle or Venmo. So anyways, don't be afraid of international shipments. Once you figure it out, it'll open up your client base worldwide. Happy hunting, guys.